just my finances. Like, the budgeting, you see how I am nitpicking every little thing. I've never been like that.
The roosters are coming home. My sisters, everything you did is finna come back on you because they have people in place, government-wise, to show you we used you to destroy the village.
We were in Bloomingdale's yesterday. I'm like, we have to go to H&M.
Yeah.
Like, I notice it in me now, just nitpicking. And it's not even, I just don't have it like to spend. The liquid. Yeah. I'm used to having liquid.
Winter is coming.
Yo, what I think, it's crazy because, yes, B. Simone is my friend, right? What I think that she chose to make that decision to put that out. There's so many other things that she could have cried about, man. Braylon is like the only one who actually made it in her family and was taking care of her family for years, you know, between our grandmother, her sister, her dad and everything like that. So she could have been up there crying about that.
Girl, I got H&M jeans on right now. Literally right now, I got H&M jeans on, okay? Because last week I was in France for business at Cannes or Cannes or whatever. Everything I took was from H&M and Zara.
And the fronting like you rich, the fronting like all is finna be over. I'm telling you, most of my sisters are broke in a month. Just like most of my brothers are broke.
B. Simone crying because she has to shop at H&M instead of Bloomingdale's. Meanwhile, there are people who can't even afford to buy their children clothes at Walmart. Better yet, people can't even keep a roof over their heads and food on the table. Nah.
But the sisters was acting like they not broke, holding up drinks on an island that they got there with a buddy pass and all that. No.
B. Simone says she's broke, so you got B. Simone saying, man, she done went broke out here. She can no longer afford the lifestyle she used to have. She was like, man, look, I can't even shop at Bloomingdale's no more, man. I done went in Bloomingdale's and I started looking at the price tags. I'm like, man, look, we gotta go to H&M, right?
You gotta tell the whole story, okay? The whole story. Let's circle back. All right, so here's the thing. And so I tried my best, I promise you, because people keep sending me clips from the podcast. And while I wanted to cover this in one section, you know, B is releasing clips just to kind of grift. You know, when you start seeing the clips roll out, it's grifting to a certain audience, and the audience is the, you know, I was just talking with a colleague about this, the BET audience, the Tyler Perry audience, the black woman is always last to be picked audience.
It's the same woman that was dissing brothers with 9 to 5s, talking about, I ain't dating no brothers with 9 to 5s, woo woo.
Because listen, y'all, I want you to just not exist and be alive. You want to live life. You want to enjoy life. And I asked this at the end of my show, and it goes back to that 9 to 5 thing, that 9 to 5 comment I made.
So what you have on display here is the ethos of the modern woman with a sprinkle of feminism. She is crying and complaining about not being able to shop at Bloomingdale's. Now, who in the world can actually relate to that? She shops at H&M. Oh my goodness, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. Absolutely ridiculousness. What she's living is first world problems, ma'am. And I can tell right now by your shopping habits that you have a spending problem. A spending problem is the reason why you have a cash flow problem. But you don't want a 9 to 5 guy. What you want is a jet setter. Live that jet set lifestyle. So that jet set lifestyle has you looking wild.
I'm not dating a man that's not walking in his purpose. Ooh, I'm not doing it because I'm walking in mine. And you're going to look at me every day and be mad I'm on tour with Martin and you at a desk. No.
Would you date a man that makes less money than you?
Absolutely. I do it all the time.
She dissed MLK, you know what I'm saying? This is why sometimes you gotta be humble when you're getting to the bag right now. I ain't never believed B. Simone was funny. Ain't never made me laugh ever, right? But you had her doing her little thing, man. I believe once that wildin' out check ran out for some of these folks, boy, it started getting tough out there, right? Look, y'all ain't
need no man. Oh, you need a man. You need a man like you never knew before because winter is coming. Winter is coming. You see that? Winter is coming. No more hot girl summer, no more twerking. And see, I can hear a lot of women talking about, see, it's because of the patriarchy. Yeah, the patriarchy had a way to keep you safe. It's called a family. And it's worked for tens of thousands of years. And if you want something better, you ladies need to dream of it. And you need to figure out intergeneration and implement it. Because what works and has worked to build the world that you are so comfortable with right now is what you've rebelled against, what you've chosen to fight against. And you're going to have to build it.
Greetings, you polite savages, and welcome to another Tip Talk.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
And when it's dark outside, you're going to look around and wonder who the hell is going to turn the lights on. Ladies, gentlemen, and polite savages, we are now about to embark on a journey sure to anger feminists and modern women alike. As always, we can only guarantee to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we see it. And sometimes the truth is a bitter pill, especially when winter is coming. So you better just shut up, put on a jacket, because it's cold outside, and take that medicine. So there's nothing left to do but get on up into it. Let's get up, and get down. Let's go. 3 years ago, B. Simone had some disparaging things to say about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., saying that he wasn't a great man. He wasn't a man at all. A matter of fact, it doesn't make a difference what he did for the community and for black people at large. He was a absolute evil man because he cheated on his wife, allegedly. Now, fast forward, B. Simone was saying something else about how she absolutely couldn't date a 9-to-5 man, how he had to live her lifestyle, that entrepreneurial, jet-setting lifestyle. Man, nowadays she's having a hard time even shopping at the places she wanted to shop. See what happens is lifestyle creep sets in and you start living a little higher on a hog, doing things that you really shouldn't do, not thinking about the future, thinking that the money you have coming through is always going to be the money you have coming through. No diversification to help the nation, and when it all crashes down, all falls down. Like Kanye West said, some of the prettiest people do the ugliest things, especially for the gold and diamond ring. Because when the money stops to show and the hungerness grows, what they'll start to do is coon and corral. Well, it is what it is, you dig?
And the frontin' like you rich, the frontin' like all is finna be over. I'm telling you, most of my sisters are broke. It's some who have found a way, and I am so happy they have. But most of my sisters are broke, just like most of my brothers are broke. But the sisters was acting like they not broke, holding up drinks on an island that they got there with a buddy pass and all that. It's no.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. One thing about that man above, he gonna humble you. In a recent interview, B. Simone is now saying she has to shop at H&M.
But the most ironic part is a blue-collar 9-to-5 man would add stability to her life, would add some budgeting experience, would add some living within your means experience, would add some grounding experience. She would absolutely be better off if she had somebody to pull her aside and say, ma'am, you're probably going too far, because if you think that shopping at H&M is horrible, hell, what the heck is wrong with H&M? What are you thinking, ma'am? You think you can only shop at Bloomingdale's? More than half of the population has never shopped at Bloomingdale's, but you want to be special. God's special little queen, special little creation. You fell for the marketing. You looked yourself in the mirror and said, I am somebody far greater than I am. And now, look where you are. You can barely scrape 2 pennies together to eat a ham sandwich if we let you tell it. But the truth hurts, ma'am. And if you're scared, go on and lace them boots up. Walk a country mile in the snow, uphill both ways. Get in that pew, kneel down, and take your funky ass to church.
Because, listen, y'all, I want you to just not exist and be alive. You want to live life. You want to enjoy life. And I asked this at the end of my show, and it goes back to that 9-to-5 thing, that 9-to-5 comment I made. I say, okay, so I do this. I say, clap if you have a 9-to-5. 90% of people in the audience clap. 95%. I say, clap if you're happy and you would love to be at that job for the next 10, 15, even 5 years. It goes from 90% of the room to maybe 1% of the room.
So let's unpack the pure selfishness what this lady just espoused. A lot of people who work a 9 to 5, they work that job to take care of their family. Nobody wants to be a bus driver for the rest of their life, but they love the fact that they're able to raise their kids and give their kids a better life. Nobody wants to be a carpenter for their whole life, or very few people do, but my dad was a carpenter to make sure that I had the ability to go to college, the ability to move forward, the ability to have a solid, sustainable life. It's a good living. But you see, ma'am, you're only in it for what you feel in the moment. You didn't even take poll that most of these folks working a 9 to 5, they're doing it for their family, and what they love above all else is family. And this is what's wrong with the modern woman today. Oh, especially in the community. They have no patience, absolutely no understanding of how to build. What they want to do is they want to wait at the finish line. Instant gratification, instant ramen noodles. They want it right now, quick, fast, in a hurry. Don't worry, they'll leave you so fast your vision will be blurry. Even if you are working towards your goal, don't get there quick enough and somebody comes along with something more, well, they're out the front door. And this lady right here, you were talking all this crap about that 1% happy, and then you come back with your happy life, and what are you doing? You're complaining about not having a happy life. You see, the bottom line is this: you have a dark hole in your soul, and that dark hole will never be filled. You're trying to fill it with money and material things, but what it really comes down to is that all that glitter wasn't gold. And that ring, oh my precious, don't you understand that that precious ring that you wanted, it was the thing driving you halfway crazy. Damn.
Are you really broke? Or are you trying to connect with your viewers because you were disassociated and delusional for a very long time? Are you? Because I heard you just signed a new podcast deal. There's ad sponsorships in this particular podcast. But the problem was the views weren't viewing. See, one thing I love about YouTube is that in most cases, you can't lie on YouTube about your views. You can inflate them, but YouTube gonna dial them right back. And by the time they do dial them right back, people done forgot about the video. But the bottom line is the bottom line. Now on Instagram and Facebook, I personally know, and this ain't no allegedly, B will drop a clip from her podcast and they will buy 50 to 60,000 likes.
Then I say, okay, y'all 2 people that clapped, congratulations. I'm glad you're happy. But for everybody else, get back to the vision. A man with a 9 to 5. I could date an entrepreneur. I think it's freedom. And I think that's something that I desire for my family in a whole. Freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, just
location
freedom.
Yep.
Freedom. We can work from anywhere. We can just move and be free.
It's absolute time to dispel this delusion that as an entrepreneur, as somebody who is working for themselves, even if you're a 9 to 5, that you are free to roam the nation. This lady thinks that she is Verizon Wireless or something. But here's the truth. I've worked with 5 entrepreneurs directly. I've worked with 5 CEOs directly. And one thing that they didn't have was freedom. They had golden handcuffs. They were building their company. And when they finally made their company and expanded their company, they had millions of dollars. But one thing they didn't have is the ability to pick up and go anywhere they had to go, because responsibility, meetings, and investors has you tied down. As an entrepreneur, you're barely going to see your family, and you're sacrificing that time with your family for your family. I know it's hard to understand for somebody who has never did it, but from somebody in that situation, understand me. It ain't all it's cracked up to be, but if you are built for it, there are no regrets. Thank you for watching the TIP Network. Follow us on all social media outlets and ask yourself one burning question. Can you handle the tip? Boom, we're out.
We found true happiness.